Radio 1290. DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Here's the windup. The 1-2 coming to Stewart. Swinging a ground ball into third. Brito backhands, throws to first. In time! It's over! The four-peat is complete! Oklahoma beats Texas 8-4. They sweep the series. And the Oklahoma Sooners are the first team ever to win 4 straight softball national championships.
And they are now even all time with your Arizona Wildcats. 8 for Oklahoma, 8 for Arizona. The voice of Ryan Radke, as you heard those games all across the last week plus that we had here, right here on Wildcats Radio 1290, courtesy of Westwood One. And the Arizona Wildcat 1998 grad joins us now. And Brian, you've had a front row seat for this dominance that has been the Oklahoma Sooners. I believe I heard you say last night this was the 5th year that you've called the Women's College World Series. What has, I guess, most been impressive about what this program has done in winning 4 straight?
Well, I mean, just the fact that they've been able to get here for 5 straight years is pretty unbelievable. And then to be on this stage, and it just seems like they always have their best. You know, the first year I did this was 2019. They played UCLA for the championship, and they were not at their best. They got blown out in game 1 of that series and then lost in a walk-off in game 2. But since then, you know, 21, 22, 23, 24, it feels like they've just kind of cruised to these championships. That hasn't always been the case. There's been some close games in there, but it just feels like not only do they win, but they do it as overwhelming favorites, that they always seem to have their best when it matters. And even a couple of years ago, they lost game 1 to Florida State and came right back confident as ever and took the next 2 games. To keep winning at that level is something that is really hard to do, as evidenced by the fact that nobody's ever done it before. And it really has been impressive to watch. One
of the things, I was talking to somebody this morning who listened to your broadcast last night, and they said the thing that they kind of took away from one of the things you said was the plate discipline that Oklahoma had in this entire series, over this entire stretch of games. What is it about the way that Patty Gasso's teams are at the plate that allow them to be so successful, do you believe?
Well, I think a lot of credit probably goes to her son, JT, who's the hitting coach. They've just always had that. I mean, you go back a couple of years ago when they had Jocelyn Allo, who set all these records for home runs and RBIs, and yet she was very willing to take walks. Her on-base percentage was through the roof. She was very willing to go the opposite way. If teams were going to pitch her away, she would line a single into right and eventually, started hitting a bunch of home runs to right center field. They've just always had that. And whether it's Allo or passed on now to Tiare Jennings and Jada Coleman, who hit an opposite field home run in the Florida game on Tuesday to put him in the championship series, or Alyssa Brito, and on down the line, they all seem to have that approach. They don't have a lot of free swingers. They don't have a lot of players they're going to chase. They drew the most walks in the country this year. They almost set a single-season school record for walks drawn. They just make pitchers work. And even last night, they did not have an obscene amount of walks, but they forced pitchers to get deep. You go back to the 2 games against Florida, and Keegan Rothrock had to throw, 130, 140 pitches to get through games against Oklahoma. They do a great job of that. They always have. It's part of their philosophy, and their players really seem to buy into it.
Yeah, I can remember, going back even to the early part of the 2010s, 2011, we had a player here at the University of Arizona that transferred to Oklahoma, a shortstop, Shelby Penley, and you look at the decisions that some of these young women have made to go be a part of that program. Kelly Maxwell being the last one who crossed over from the other side of the state to become a part of that program. Naturally, that's the nature of college athletics. But I guess from what do you think what do you think is the draw for? And I guess the mindset that an athlete has now when they go to do that. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is, you remember when athletes wanted to try to win titles on their own at a particular school, but now we see more athletes that want to go and join the best programs and win a title. And I guess for me, I'm still tossed up in terms of, if I like that or not. When top athletes at one school leave to go to another school, it's kind of the Kevin Durant mentality to try and win a title. But I guess that's where we are in college athletics right now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's where we are all across sports. I mean, we certainly see it in the NBA with the rise of the super teams and guys joining up because they want to play together, and it feels like that gives them the best chance to win. You're seeing it in college athletics as well. The one thing I'll say about Oklahoma, and we talked about this throughout the course of the last 10 days, is yes, Oklahoma added some really key pieces in the transfer portal. Getting a Kelly Maxwell to anchor their pitching staff obviously turned out to be gigantic for them. She was undefeated at the Women's College World Series and got the save last night to wrap up the title. At the same time, they've had some losses. Jordy Ball, who closed things out for them last year and was certainly one of the best pitchers in the country, she left right after the Women's College World Series last year. She went to Nebraska. Jocelyn Erickson, who was on the bench for Oklahoma last year, she went to Florida. She turned out to be an All-American catcher, second in the country in RBIs. Sophia Nugent, another catcher they had, she transfers to Tennessee and has a big year. So, they've also lost some pieces in the transfer portal. They haven't just been that team that's gone out and cherry-picked everybody else and just said, well, we now have the deepest team in America. They've watched some people go, but they've also been able to utilize it to their advantage. There is a draw to playing at Oklahoma for a lot of girls. It's a program that is incredibly faith-based. They make no bones about that. And I think for some players that is extremely attractive, something that they want to be a part of. And they've made it work. I mean, 4 in a row, it's pretty unbelievable. But they all seem to buy in. They all seem to be on the same page. Nobody ever seems to be chirping about the limelight or the lack thereof. They just keep winning games, and they've done it 4 years in a row, and it's amazing, especially in this era where we see all the movement.
We're chatting with the voice of the Women's College World Series, Arizona Wildcat grad Ryan Radke, class of 1998. Once again, Ryan, the crowds were unbelievable over the course of the Women's College World Series. We were talking about it the other day. Do we ever see this event being anywhere else but Oklahoma City? Do you think that's even possible at this point? I mean, we move our events around in our other major sports, but we've seen in terms of the ones on the diamond, Oklahoma City and Omaha being set that those are the places where these championships are going to take place every year.
Yeah, no, it's not leaving Oklahoma City anytime soon. The reason is really simple. There's just not another facility in the country for softball that can accommodate these kind of crowds. I mean, they had over 12,000 people last night. I was talking to some folks from the NCAA the other day, and they said, the next biggest facility that would even be considered holds about 6,000. So would you want to move and basically cut your attendance in half even for a sellout to hold it there? So it's not leaving Oklahoma City until somebody else somewhere decides they're going to build a facility like this that can house that many people, not to mention have all the press box facilities and things you need to host it. So I think it's going to be here. I know some people don't like that. There was some talk about it being an unfair advantage for Oklahoma, but this is where the stadium is. I mean, if we could pick up this stadium and move it around the country, I'm sure they'd love to go to different venues, but they're not going to go play in a 3,000-seat stadium and leave 9,000 tickets out there. So it's going to be here for the foreseeable future. And look, they've done a ton of work on this ballpark, just like in Omaha. They built the brand new ballpark however many years ago. Had a commitment from the NCAA. Oklahoma City, they've done a ton of work. They just recently finished about a 4-year renovation project on the stadium. They added more seats. They put a new press box in. They've made it a really great place. The people in Oklahoma City buy into the event. They love it. It's their event. It's going to be here for a while, and if that's an unfair advantage for Oklahoma, well, I guess that's just the way it is. By the way, nobody says, well, it's an unfair advantage for Oklahoma State. They've been here each of the last 5 years. They haven't won. So how much of it is an unfair advantage, I don't know. There's a lot of Sooner fans. There's no doubt about it, but that's just the way it is.
Are you going to be working the Men's College World Series?
I'm not. I'm going home. I'm going to leave that in the very capable hands of Kevin Kugler and Scott Graham. They'll take care of it. Those guys do a great job on that event. So they're going to handle that. I'm going to go home and enjoy a little downtime.
You get a break before NFL starts again. You'll be back on Sunday night games this fall?
That's the plan. That's the hope. Until somebody tells me differently, we're gonna go with that.
What have you enjoyed most about that opportunity?
It's just been great. I got a chance to take over in 2020 doing Sunday nights. Obviously, that was a very unique year with the COVID year and nobody in stadiums and traveling around. But it's just been a lot of fun to be involved with the NFL. I got paired up with Mike Golick a couple of years ago, who I love working with. He's an outstanding guy. He's a terrific analyst. Enjoy being on with him every week. And it's a lot of fun. We have fun when we go to games. I mean, that's the way that we look at our jobs, that we're blessed enough to do this. We might as well have some fun, and I think we've been able to do that. And so looking forward to doing it again this coming year and hopefully for years to come after that.
All right. Well, Ryan, we look forward to your golden tones every Sunday night right here on Wildcats Radio 1290. We'll catch up with you again during the football season.
All right, DK. Sounds good. Thanks, man.
Ryan Radke, U of A broadcast class of 1998, the voice of Sunday Night Football on Westwood One, called the Women's College World Series this past week. And awesome. Now he gets some downtime because Ryan was a minor league broadcaster for quite a long time, and there's no such thing as a break during the summertime when you call minor league games for as long as Ryan did here in Tucson, obviously with the Sidewinders, and for, I believe it was 11 years after the Sidewinders departed here to Tucson to go up to Reno and become the Aces. Was also a former voice of the University of Nevada Wolfpack football and basketball teams for a number of years before the opportunities with Westwood One came along for him. I believe started on the Division II men's basketball national championship was, I believe, the first time I heard Ryan on Westwood One, and has quickly moved up that scale there and gotten into the National Football League booth, along with calling college basketball games during the postseason. Was on the Pac-12 championship game. Obviously, we didn't hear that in this market, but called the Pac-12 championship game, as well as calls NCAA basketball as well for Westwood One. So great to hear his voice on all of those opportunities, a University of Arizona graduate. All right, 520-848-1290. If you have anything that you want to chat about in terms of NCAA softball, the wrap-up of that season, we'll dive into, again, what's on tap tonight in Eugene for the Arizona Wildcats track team, as well as talk some Arizona football coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, as well as let you hear from the quarterback of your Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, held his first press conference of, I guess we can call it, the new season, since we are in the preparation process for the 2024 NFL campaign. Lots of interesting stuff that came from Kyler Murray. Is he making you more of a believer based on what you've heard? And the seems to be very, very high regard he has held within this new regime of Monty Ossenfort and Jonathan Gannon. Are you now buying in like they've bought in with their quarterback? How important, though, is this a year for Kyler Murray? Completely healthy now for the first season with this new regime. What type of results are you expecting from the Cardinals with Kyler Murray at the helm? 520-848-1290. Cricket, get us home every 20 minutes on the 5s. Traffic and weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together, sponsored by O'Reilly Chevrolet. New collision Ruthroff near I-10 on Ruthroff to the east of I-10, some westbound slowing. Crashes at River Road and Craycroft. Collision west of there, River and La Cañada and River Road, that was reported as a hit and run. Park Avenue in Irvington, also Valencia and Midvale Park. 73 the low. There is an excessive heat warning until 8 tonight. 104 tomorrow, only 100 on Sunday, and 109 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward, like banners, flyers, flyers, signs, and catalogs, some even same day. And now at Staples, save up to $50 on your print purchase. Offer ends 7/6. Visit staples.com/print for details. Boost your business with Staples, your local print and marketing expert.
They're back. The lot is starting to fill up. The vehicles are back. The incentives are back. And we're welcoming you to come back. See us today at O'Reilly Chevrolet.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Cactus RV and Marine. Visit their original location on Romero north of Prince during I-10 construction or cactusrv.com.
Whether it's playing catch with your kids, hitting the trails, or tending to your garden, if foot, knee, hip, or back pain is getting in your way, it's time to take action. Enter the Good Feet store. Their premium arch supports, which are HSA and FSA eligible, will help you bid farewell to discomfort so pain won't dictate your spring. Head over to goodfeet.com today. Schedule your free, no-obligation fitting and step into spring pain-free. Or swing by your nearest store. Walk-ins are always welcome.
Make sure you download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app. We've got the entire state covered like no other sports radio station in southern Arizona. Plus, when you have the app, you can cover U of A sports with Wildcats Radio 1290 anywhere and everywhere you go and out of town, too. The mountains, the beach, working out, or maybe even...
Oh, no. Turn that off.
Download or update the Wildcats Radio 1290 app today and never miss a moment of sports analysis. Well, maybe an occasional moment. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Time for the hot weather polar bear promise. Alaskan AC arrives in 1 day or your repair is free.
Wait, say that again?
We arrive in 1 day or your repair is free?
Again, but longer on the A.
We arrive in 1 day
or your repair is free. Hear it?
No.
Alaskan AC, service guarantee. We arrive in 1 day
or your repair is free. By George, he's got it. With the Alaskan AC service guarantee, we arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Are we really doing this?
That's awesome, Gary. With Alaskan AC service guarantee,
we arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
We should probably...
Sing with us, William.
I would really rather...
Come on.
I don't want to.
Chicken bok bok.
Guys, no.
It's catchy.
Do it.
Sing out, Louise.
Fine.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Whoa.
Whoa is right.
Can we get back to work now?
Schedule anytime at alaskanac.com.
Incredible.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word social to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice, attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. With the struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-290-1583. 800-290-1583. Again, that's 800-290-1583. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go!
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. In fact, why don't you text the word app, APP, to 520-848-1290. I will send you a link. You can download our app. Our app slaps all kinds of good information on our app. You can watch the show on our app through our YouTube stream. If you don't want to watch the show on our app, however, you can watch it on Twitter at Wildcats1290. You can watch it on Facebook Live. You can also watch it on Twitch. So there are a number of places that you can watch our program. All right. Before we got into it with Ryan Radke, Arizona broadcast class of 1998, we were telling you that's all that is left now in terms of the collegiate athletic year is baseball and track and field. And it is a big day for Arizona track and field as they've got two events that they are competing in up in Eugene today, the 4x100 relay as well as the triple jump. And we are pleased to be joined right now by none other than the track director for the University of Arizona Wildcats, calling live from Eugene, Oregon. Fred Harvey joins us. Fred, I don't know, what's the name of the new stadium there?
It's still the historic Hayward Field.
Okay, still Hayward Field. Okay, I wasn't sure if they'd put a new name on the new stadium, but there you go, the historic Hayward Field. Big day for you guys, 4x1. First, let's talk about what they did on Wednesday, setting another program record at 38.75 for that foursome of Travion White-Austin, Brian Lamage, James Onadabosi, and Tyson Tippett.
Yep. Yeah, I mean they were on fire. I mean the 4x1s over the last few years has just been something really spectacular. You have teams that ran under 39 seconds, 4, and then you had 3 last year that didn't have an opportunity to make the final. So at this meet, literally, the best meet in the world when it comes to the relays as well. And, any of those teams, these qualifying teams, to the finals are all teams that would, if they were a country, they would have an opportunity to make the Olympic game finals. And so, really proud of, the way the guys performed and how Coach Green got them prepared to be able to, be ready to go. I mean, and they've done a fabulous job of that. It's absolutely amazing to see.
Now, you mentioned that, like, some of these teams could be their own country, and I wanted to ask you because I was looking at some of the numbers last week, and I noticed that in terms of, like, some of the top times in the various events, especially the relays, you've got some schools that have an A team, a B team, and a C team, and I'm thinking, like, how does that? I mean, that's an embarrassment of riches when you can put out 3 teams that can run in the top 25 in the country. But how does that work in the postseason? Can like, I think maybe Auburn might have been one of the teams that comes to mind. Can they send all 3 of those teams to NCAAs if they qualify?
No, because to put it a little bit more in perspective, what happens. So let's say you have your A team, A team, C team, B team, whatever have you. Now, they're not completely different units.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
some of those guys are crossing over to the various teams.
Yeah, so you may have 3 on that team, and you plugged in a 4th person,
right?
But they're not completely separate teams.
I see. Yeah, I probably should have picked up on that. But let's say they were. Could you do that?
No.
Let's say you had 2 separate groups of 4, and they were both really good.
Nope, you can only enter one team, and you have alternates and you have substitutes that you can utilize, for that, for the championship. But you can't have 2 separate teams qualifying. We can do that in the Junior Olympics, but you can't do that at the NCAA level.
Okay. We're chatting with Fred Harvey. He is the track director for the University of Arizona. Fred, I just want to touch on each one of these 5 young men who are competing today. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Travion White Austin, local kid out of Saguaro High School, and obviously competing for the final time as he looks to graduate. What has this young man meant to your program?
I mean, he's been everything. He's everything that we try to do within our community to develop, the talent, to be able to come through and be able to compete for the University of Arizona, or whether it's Stanford, or be able to compete at the Division I level. We're really proud of that, and to be able to have a young man that's been with us all these years, and all he's ever dreamt about doing was being an Arizona Wildcat. And for that to happen, and for him to be able to compete at the level that he's competing at as an Arizona Wildcat, it's awfully special, because that's you have to be super talented to do what he's doing.
And then you go with the James Onunabosi and Brian Lamage, the other two from last season in this foursome. How have they grown into what they've been able to provide for the 4x100 this year?
Yeah, I mean, confidence, and that, I talk about getting to this championship level, whether it's softball, baseball. When you have a young crew that can get to this, competition at the youngest age, you understand, what's happening and how, the level increases. The track is still the same distance, but the level and intensity of how things happen here, you can't understand it unless you come here and you're a part of it. So them being a part of this last year was huge for them in terms of their confidence and ability to be able to compete, at the highest level. You remember last year they didn't run their best time in the preliminary or in the semifinal round, so they didn't make it on, to the final. And this year, they were on fire. They understood what it took, and they executed, and it was great. And with James, the beautiful thing about that, again, I coached his mom and his two aunts, and for them to be able to see son and nephew be able to compete at this level, it's just kind of special.
That's unbelievable. You coached them here or at your prior stop?
No, they were both, actually there were three of them. They were Sun Devils.
Oh wow!
And I coached Akeem Akinremi, who was his uncle and was the Pac-12 champion, Pac-10 champion in the 100 meters. So Akeem Akinremi is his actual uncle, brother of Lade and Tayo Akinremi. Who I coached them here when they graduated from Arizona State, and they came here and trained with me in Tucson.
Wow, okay, I get that. And then obviously the fourth in this group, Tyson Tippett, a young man, another, not local from Tucson, but an Arizona native who also, like Travion, went the junior college route to get to the University of Arizona. I'm sure those two kind of competed against each other coming up, and now they actually get a chance to work together to try to make this thing happen at U of A.
Yep. Well, and the beautiful thing about, Tyson is, he came in, mid-year, but he comes from a program where, we have a great relationship with that coaching staff there. So we knew for a fact when he came in from Mesa and he stepped foot here, in Wildcat country, that he was going to be ready to go. And so the philosophies, were all the same in terms of, how we're preparing. So there was never a hesitation as to what we needed to do once he arrived, in Tucson. And, he is a super, super talented young man. And even though we speak the same language, that they're speaking there in, Mesa, a full year with the program starting next year, you're going to see some amazing things from that young man.
We're joined by Fred Harvey, U of A track director, long-time U of A track director. The last young man that's competing today is Sir Jonathan Sims in the triple jump. First, how did you feel about his long jump performance the other day, and what does he need to do to try to get into the mix and get on get and score in the triple jump today?
Yeah, well, he, in the long jump, he seriously he underachieved. He knows that. But the reason why he outthought the situation is, no matter how you want to look at it, it's it's the same distance that you take off from at any other facility. And just he kind of outthought the process, and consequently, didn't jump his his best that he could have here at this meet. With that being said, just kind of a reflection on that, and a very short conversation with him, and his coach Bobby Carter. That it's the same thing. You don't outthink the process. Just do what you ordinarily do. Do what it took for you to get here to this meet, and you have a great opportunity of being an All-American.
All right, so 6:02 today. It'll be the men's 4x100 relay. Who's in your heat?
Oh my God! And I wish I had that right off the tip of my head, but LSU, Houston. Let's see, Kentucky. No, Kentucky missed. Kentucky's out. So I don't have the lineup right in front of me. But let's put it this way: LSU, who had the fastest time in the country, they didn't run as well, in the preliminary round, and they just got in. Look for them to not repeat the same mistake.
Right. Exactly. Let's.
They're not happy about what happened in the preliminary round, and they're and literally, when I say they're on their knees thanking God that they were I set up my warm-up camp, and they're literally right next to where I'm at on my warm-up camp, and I have a long relationship with everyone in that group as a coaching staff, and Tamara Ard, who's a Troy High School graduate, she coaches sprints and hurdles there with Dennis Shaver. So we spent a lot of time together, and it was a lot of holding hands and and thanking God that they made it through. And I guarantee you this: after the holding hands and thanking God, it's like, okay, well, we're not doing that crap again.
Oh gosh. So it looks like, are you guys running out of lane 1? Is that what I'm seeing here today? Is that?
Yep. We're in lane 1.
So what are the challenge? Is that an advantage, disadvantage there?
So if let's do it with Travion White, Austin in lane 1 for us, we don't want him there. But if there's anyone that's going to handle lane 1 at a more efficient rate, it's going to be that guy. He's built for running turns, with his height and his frequency. He's built for this thing. So it's not an advantage being in lane 1 by any stretch of imagination. But I think, with Trey, he will put us in position where, the straights are the straights. So Brian down the back stretch is the same thing whether he's in lane 9, and then, we have a shorter guy who has great frequency who will have on the turn, with James Asambosi. And so we'll be in pretty good shape. But what's going to have to happen is Trey's going to have to set us up, to be in position, once he hits the stick, to Brian.
And then Tyson runs the anchor.
Yes. Yep. And once again, a straight is a straight, whether it's lane 1 or lane 9.
Arizona, San Jose State, Texas, Texas Tech, Houston, Auburn, Florida, USC, and LSU. 9 teams. You got to get top 8 to score, correct?
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Yep. And we always bill it like, well, you know what? Doesn't matter what you are coming in. Guess what? You have a lane. You don't have lane 10 or 11. You have one of the 9 lanes, so you have an opportunity.
All right. Well, hey, Coach, best of luck to all of these young men today. We'll look forward to kind of following up with you after this is all said and done. You guys get back here, but go out and get them tonight.
Hey, I appreciate your time.
Hey, we always appreciate you. Fred Harvey, U of A track director. Fellas are in the finals tonight. Again, 4x100. That will go off at 6:02 tonight if you want to watch it on television. And then the triple jump, which will be Sir Jonathan Sims is at 6:20. All of these are finals for this evening. 520-848-1290. We'll dive into a little bit more of the track side of that as well when we come back in the next hour. J-Dub is here. Cricket is here. It's DK on the Sports Tip. My name is David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it is Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions that are reported Ruthroff, east of I-10, River Road and Craycroft into the southwest side, Park Avenue in Irvington, and also Valencia and Midvale Park. Roadwork southbound Country Club approaching and passing Glen travel is down to one lane. No left turns permitted from Country Club onto Glen. 73 the overnight low, and by the way, an excessive heat warning until 8 tonight. 104 tomorrow, only 100 on Sunday. 109 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Father's Day is coming up. Taking on a job with Dad, for Dad? Now you can save on brakes, oil, wash and wax, and more during the AutoZone Father's Day sale, now through the 16th. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
This is boot camp. This is the real thing now. You've never done anything so hard in your life. You don't understand how you can finish. It takes inner strength and desire to become a Marine. When I finished, I was like, I did it. The moment I will never forget is when this drill instructor that I admire so much comes up to me and said, "Good morning, Marine."
PFC Summer Volkman became a Marine. Can you? Visit Marines.com or call 1-800-MARINES.
We get you so close to the action at McHale, it feels like Wilbur and Wilma are in the car with you. This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before. Like that time you swerved to avoid the stray shopping cart that rolled into the street from nowhere? Or when you had a green light but did some extreme braking because another driver decided to turn left in front of you? And we've all had to navigate monsoon downpours that turned our streets into Arizona's largest slip and slide. At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires, the best steel, and a huge in-stock selection of the brands you trust. And now's the time to save big with the most rebates we've seen all year on the brands you love, like Michelin, Cooper, and Uniroyal tires, with up to $100 back all month long. And Jack Furrier cardholders get back another $30. Check out jackfurriers.com for details on all our sizzling summer savings. So for all those critical moments where your tires make the difference, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
Remember to tune in to Wildcats Radio 1290 for the biggest pregame show in the Pac-12. Because that's how we roll. We go on the air 4 hours before every football and men's basketball game all season long. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Time for the hot weather polar bear promise. Alaskan AC arrives in 1 day or your repair is free.
Wait, say that again?
We arrive in 1 day or your repair is free?
Again, but longer on the A.
We arrive in 1 day
or your repair is free. Hear it?
No.
Alaskan AC, service guarantee. We arrive in 1 day
or your repair is free. By George, he's got it. With the Alaskan AC service guarantee, we arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Are we really doing this?
That's awesome, Gary. With Alaskan AC service guarantee,
we arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
We should probably
sing with us, William.
I would really rather.
Come on.
I don't want to.
Chicken bok bok.
Guys, no.
It's catchy.
Do it.
Sing out, Louise.
Fine.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Whoa.
Whoa is right.
Can we get back to work now?
Schedule anytime at
AlaskanAC.com. Incredible.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket, getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
The Boston Celtics have a 1-0 lead in the NBA Finals after a 107-89 victory over the Dallas Mavericks last night at the TD Gardens in Boston. And this game got out of hand real quick for the Mavericks. 37 first quarter points for the Celtics. And a lot of that came from a guy off the bench who had not played in 10 games, Kristaps Porzingis.
Porzingis, guarded by Harvey, leans in. Hardy tried to draw a foul. Porzingis knocks down his first. Porzingis gets away inside and throws it down. Porzingis has Josh Green on him, wants to post up. Huge height advantage. Lively lurking. Porzingis shooting, scoring. Kristaps Porzingis, 8 points in 5 minutes. Timeout, Dallas. Tatum to Peyton Pritchard, who just checked in. Porzingis way outside, knocks down another. Irving blocked by Porzingis. He's doing it all. Holiday, Hauser, three-pointer. Tatum gets past Irving, stripped and stolen by Irving. Here comes Josh Green, one man to beat, but it's a 7-footer who blocks it again. Derek Jones, excellent defender, but again, Porzingis was the height advantage. Shoots over him, shot's good. He's 5 of 7 from the field. Again, Green pushing Porzingis, trying to play him physical. Another jump shot, another bucket. Kristaps Porzingis has erupted. Porzingis pokes it in. Kristaps Porzingis knocking him down from everywhere.
Kristaps Porzingis, 8 of 13, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 blocked shots, including that one you heard on Arizona Wildcat Josh Green. Green played 20 minutes in this game. 1 for 4, hit a 3. That was his only make. 3 points, 3 rebounds for Josh Green. Not a great game for Kyrie. 6 of 19, missed all 5 of his threes. Only 12 points. Afterward, he talked about the environment of going back to Boston.
You know, just a lot of emotions going into it and just waiting for the opportunity to get out there and compete, you know, going against a great Celtics team. So we just had to get this one out the way, and we didn't perform the way we would have wanted to tonight. You know, it starts with me just being able to get out there and get us settled. I got to take some accountability for just the communication and just going out there and getting used to the way that the kind of environment was going to be. But I think my teammates did a great job of staying together, sticking to the game plan. We obviously made some mistakes, like I said, but we gave ourselves a chance in the second half, and we just got to continue to do the right things and win the quarters as much as we can. They came out and hit us in the mouth early, got the home crowd going into it, down 17 in the first quarter. It's not really like us to give up 37 points. It's happened to us before in the playoffs, but we just want to make it a lot tougher on them. And they hit a lot of threes. And, again, when you get them rolling like that, they play a very easy game the rest of the game. And we just got to hit them in the mouth a little bit. So they did their job getting game one, but we're going to take our lessons and get ready for a good game two.
You mentioned the environment. How did that either meet or kind of exceed your expectations, and how did it affect you tonight?
No, I mean, it's basketball at the end of the day. You know, being in this environment, you know, I'm used to it at this point. You know, early in my career, There was a different relationship that I had with Boston, just being able to come here, be settled with a veteran group. Now I'm here as the veteran. Over the past few years, just experiencing the playoffs here, even regular season, it's been the same thing. I thought it was going to be a little louder in here, but I'm expecting the same things going into Game 2. Crowd trying to get me out of my element, my teammates out of my element. But again, the energy's got to be focused towards the game. Felt like I had a lot of great looks. They hit back rim, or they were just a little left or right. So I just got to stay confident and stay poised throughout this, man. This is the best time of the year to be playing. It's only 2 teams left. Let's put it in perspective, So the environment's going to be what it is, but my focus is on our game plan and making sure my guys feel confident and I feel confident, and continue to shoot great shots.
I don't know. According to Celtics announcer Sean Grande, Kyrie was letting the fans get into his head. Sean Grande said that he was John with a fan pretty much the entire game. Well, again, you've got to be able to get past those things and focus. And apparently, Kyrie's focus was not razor sharp in Game 1 of this series.
Well, I mean, I don't know anything about Kyrie jawing at fans. I do know Boston is one of those cities, along with New York, Philly, which is based on hatred, DK. I mean, they're far more hate than love, right? From those fan bases where they take great pride in how much hate they give to opposing teams. And when you got a guy like Kyrie who came in there, you know the story better than anybody, DK. Came in there after his time with LeBron. A really young squad, obviously Tatum and Brown as rookies and first-year, second-year players. How he left that city with about as much pride as any city in America for basketball is concerned. Celtics fans have long memories, a lot of pride, and were ready to give it to him when he got in the building. So I don't know about his back rim comment there. I saw a couple of his shots go off the side of the backboard, David Kelly. I think to me it's got nothing to do with nerves. The big takeaway, obviously, is the fact that I don't know if you heard this, but they had 9 assists last night, DK, as a team. 9 assists. The fewest assists by any team in the NBA this season was 11. They had fewer assists in last night's game than any team had all season long. And that's for a very simple reason. They've got 4 all-star level guards with Boston. They've got Horford, who's clearly at the tail end of his career, and Porzingis with some muscle and blocking shots at the rim. They did not double once. So when you've got Kyrie and Luka doing crazy damage in those ISO situations as they've had all season, their whole careers, but especially during this playoff run, what you see is Derek Lively II at the rim with the dunk. Daniel Gadford at the rim with the dunk. Most of their plays come off of how much extra attention has to be given towards Luka and Kyrie, which leaves guys open at the rim, open in the corners for open jump shots. Apparently, according to the statisticians, they only created 9 open catch-and-shoot looks last night, did the Dallas Mavericks. Only 9. Think about how many times in a highlight package you've seen Luka drive the lane, get 3 defenders drawn to him, and throws behind his head for a guy wide open in the corner for a 3. Luka only had 1 assist last night. 1. That's never happened ever before. So clearly, I don't know about the crowd, but what the defensive strategy of the Celtics was going in Missoula was to not allow any of those guys to get off and make sure that they played straight up one-on-one, because the Mavericks run through these playoffs to the finals in large part had to do with the role players making open shots and finding themselves open at the rim, because Kyrie and Luka have just been so dominant. They have such good defenders on that Celtics team with Brown and Tatum, very good on-ball defenders. Obviously, Mr. White's a very, very good on-ball defender, and Drew Holiday is probably the best of all of them. So when you have that luxury, you might not have to send doubles at Kyrie and Luka. And if that's the case and those other guys can't get off, DK, it's going to be a really, really long series for the Mavericks.
Well, you mentioned Luka Doncic, just 1 assist. The Mavericks had just 9.
Yeah.
9 total assists as a team.
22.
Only Kyrie had more than 1 in the game, and he only had 2.
22 is what they've averaged during this playoffs run.
Yeah.
So 22 assists per game is what the Dallas Mavericks average in the 2024 playoffs.
Luke, after the game, on why it was so hard for the Mavs to find open shooters.
Luka, only one assist for you, obviously extremely unusual. Don't think we've ever seen that before in a game. You played a lot of minutes in. What were they doing or what were you guys not doing that made the distribution part of the game so difficult?
They mostly play one-on-one. They didn't send a lot of help, so that's why.
You've obviously been here before, down 0-1 in a series. What do you remember about, the first round and the second round, what the next day was like for you guys? What did it look like? What did it feel like?
I don't remember. Just a little you lose or you win. First to four, we got to focus on the next game.
Does that give you guys confidence, though?
Of course. You want me to say we have no confidence?
I just want to hear you say it. It's good for our stories.
Of course.
What kind of problems does the Celtics 5-out offense present for you guys on defense?
Their spacing is great, and they have a lot of shooters. So I think we got to do a better job taking those three away.
Did make a bit of a run at the end of the second quarter and the beginning of the third quarter. What was working for you in that little patch of time that didn't quite carry over to the entire game?
Just playing our basketball. I think in those moments we were playing our basketball. We were getting stopped. We didn't allow them to offensive rebound. So we're having fun out there those couple moments, and that's what we got to do more.
All right, Luka Doncic, after game one, a loss for the Dallas Mavericks by a whole lot, and now they'll get 2 days off in between games 1 and 2, as we'll be back at it on Sunday, 5 o'clock at the TD Gardens, as the Celtics try to win both games at home and head south with a 2-zip advantage. Jaylen Brown, 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals in a winning cause for the C's in game 1. Joined again by the third member of our program, Cricket.
Hey.
Cricket's got tickets. Oh, it's a Friday. She's got tickets.
I do.
Got tickets for.
Summer Safari Nights at Reed Park Zoo every Saturday night through, I believe it is August 10th.
Correct.
And Summer Safari Nights each week there's featuring keeper chats and animal encounters, artifact stations, giraffe feedings, which is super cool, carousel rides, crafts and games. Different theme each week. Just a heads up, this Saturday's theme is Pollinator Power. Next Saturday, the theme is Hoofin' It, featuring rhinos, giraffes, and zebras. So each week brings something a little bit new. So right now you could score 2 tickets to experience Summer Safari Nights at Reed Park Zoo. Saturday nights, caller 2. 520-848-1290. Caller 2-520-848-1290, and good luck.
Okay, so now again, these it's for the entire summer, so there's no date on these tickets. So like, if you probably can't come and get here to get them for today to use them for tomorrow, but you can get them next week and use them for any Saturday thereafter. So it goes for the entire summer. Do you like? Are you a carousel person? Is that ride? When you get on the fancy horses and go up and down. Was that ever your thing at the amusement park?
It definitely would have been my thing as a young person, and I just enjoy it now because my youngest niece really thinks it's super cool. She wants to pick out
the carousel.
Yeah, she wants to pick out the prettiest horse, and and she's very particular. And so I do enjoy that. And at the fair, I have to watch. You have to stand there, even though they're strapped on, you know, like as a parent or an adult and a responsible person. Can you believe that? Me? A responsible person?
You're responsible. Yeah, you take care of your people.
I like to think I do.
Yeah, absolutely. The carousel, it was always kind of one of those things for me. I would always be the one trying to make the thing go. So sometimes you could kind of make it go up and down a little bit.
Use your weight.
Yeah, use your weight to make it go up and down a little bit faster to get it going, get some excitement into it. But
you were wild.
Yeah, I was one of those wild carousel riders.
Wild
right
kid.
There, exactly. All right, so Cricket will be back with more about what is happening this weekend in Southern Arizona in the 5 o'clock hour. Right now, though, she's getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Some preparation work for improvements have begun on Tucson Boulevard between 22nd Street and 6th Street. Middle of this month, milling operations do begin on Tucson Boulevard between 22nd Street and 6th Street. Crashes that are clearing Valencia and Midvale Park and also Park Avenue and Irvington. There is an excessive heat warning until 8 tonight, 73 the low, 104 tomorrow, 100 on Sunday, and 109 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Get in the zone. AutoZone. Father's Day is coming up. Taking on a job with Dad, for Dad? Now you can save on brakes, oil, wash and wax, and more during the AutoZone Father's Day sale, now through the 16th. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! No, it's...
I'm Captain Tobacco from Tobacco Barn.
My tobacco hero.
I'm here to wipe out high prices on tobacco products. I'm also here to inform citizens that you could save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products. Pay no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn and save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Uh-oh, I see high prices. Excuse me.
Save up to 40% off all your tobacco products at Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn is on the Indian Reservation, so you're not paying state tax or any city sales tax. Plus, you can get a coupon for an additional $3 off at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Take it from Captain Tobacco. Save up to 40%. Save with no city or state sales tax. And save with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Well, time for me to fly.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-290-1583. 800-290-1583. Again, that's 800-290-1583. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention. If your teen or preteen is or has been addicted to Instagram, Snapchat, or TikTok and been treated for eating disorders, body image issues, anxiety, depression, or suicidal thoughts, you may be eligible to participate in a lawsuit for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 for more information. Disclosures by multiple Facebook whistleblowers suggest Instagram knows their social media platforms are highly addictive and cause eating disorders, body image issues, depression, and suicidal ideation, but have done little to stop it. If your family has been impacted by social media addiction, you could be eligible for significant compensation. Text SOCIAL to 323232 if you'd like to discuss a lawsuit. Text SOCIAL to 323232. Text the word SOCIAL to 323232.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Motley Rice, attorney Jennifer Guy is responsible for this ad. Motley Rice LLC is headquartered at 28 Bridgeside Boulevard, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina 29464.
Are you facing plumbing problems and need a reliable solution? Whether it's a leaky faucet, a clogged drain, or an upgrade to a tankless water heater, Right Way has you covered. And for a limited time only, we're offering 10% off your next repair or installation. Don't let plumbing issues ruin your day. Call Right Way at 520-276-2775. We'll get a plumber to your door. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We'll be chatting with Matt Moreno from Rivals.com here shortly. We'll talk some football with him. Arizona announced their transfer class this week and all that entails. A lot of new guys are coming in, and so we'll get the lowdown on what Matt thinks. Matt's always up on all of the recruiting and whatnot, and so we'll find out his thoughts on where this class lands. They actually, on Rivals, have this as a little bit higher rated class than the others that we were looking at the other day. So we'll get Matt's thoughts on all that. He joins us right now, longtime cover of Arizona athletics for Go AZ Cats, and now the Pac-12 recruiting analyst for Rivals. Does that what is going to be your new title, Matt, now that there really is no more Pac-12 anymore?
It's still kind of to be determined, DK. I think there's still some things to kind of get ironed out there and figure out exactly what the true title will be. Not exactly sure. There's obviously a few different conferences that I'll be covering now, but maybe we'll just kind of stick with recruiting in the West. I think we'll be kind of encompassing everything. But, it doesn't have an official title as of now, and we can thank, conference realignment for that.
West Coast Recruiting Aficionado. I think that sounds like a good one there, Matt, for you.
I like the sound of that.
All right, so we had transfer signing day this week, which was something a little bit new. Is that going to be a thing now moving forward? Transfer signing day in early June?
It seems like something that could potentially be kind of part of the plans for the future. I know there's been a lot of talk this offseason in particular, and you talk to different coaches, and it feels like it's something that's going to happen eventually once everyone kind of gets on the same page. But that there will be a summer signing period just for high school recruits as well. So, eventually maybe they kind of blend into one thing, and you get maybe a mid-year signing date, and everyone kind of loads up on recruits in that time period, and then some other recruits wait until the end of the year. But it was interesting to kind of see Arizona wait until one time to announce all their mid-year guys, or not even really mid-year guys at this point, but not in the traditional sense, but their summer signees and their transfer signees for the spring. And there are some other programs that I saw that I tracked that did the same as well. And I think a lot of it really has to come down to when you're talking about transfer players, it's a little bit different than when you talk about high school recruits in that, they have those national letters of intent for high school recruits that they sign. Transfer players don't have that same scenario. They don't have to sign anything. Many of them sign financial aid paperwork, and that allows the school to announce them. But there's been cases where transfer players are, schools think they're coming and they think that they have that player on their roster. And then, they never took classes and they suddenly flip to a different school and end up transferring to a different program. And so I think a lot of programs are very hesitant. Obviously, Arizona had a very interesting situation with Ja'Cory Merritt going from Arizona to Ole Miss back to Arizona. And so I think for a lot of programs, they don't want to have that happen. And so they're waiting until those guys are on campus or taking online classes or enrolled at Arizona. They're going to wait it out and say, okay, until we know for sure, we're not going to announce those guys. So I think a lot of programs are in that same boat, and I think that's why you saw it kind of play out the way it did this week.
Yeah, that's my theory. That's my philosophy now. So let's wait until they actually get their feet on the ground here. There's a class being taken, because once they actually are taking classes, they are officially here. Although, a guy could drop out after 2 or 3 classes if he wanted to and not come in it. But at least there's something more official about that. You mentioned Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, who apparently also goes by Bill. We found out this week. What can you tell us about that whole situation and why there was a lot of flip-flopping involved there?
Yeah, when you have players that have gone to some different schools and have kind of had to move their way up, kind of through some different programs, I think some things get kind of lost in translation a little bit. And, especially when you throw in the COVID year, I think that's really, it's changed a lot for a lot of people in terms of no one's had to deal with that before. Now you're kind of getting to the end of that COVID year eligibility in terms of those players. And for a certain point, it was like, okay, you could just kind of say, yeah, he didn't use that year and move forward, but you knew that they had more time, remaining on their eligibility clock. And now we're getting to that point where, some players are that comes into play, and that's a real factor. Do you have that year or do you not have that year? And so, from my understanding, there was kind of maybe some inconsistency, some uncertainty about how it all played out, and numbers getting switched, and a lot of different things kind of going on with Ja'Cory Merritt that was just one of those really, really rare circumstances where just one or two things, kind of were out of place and didn't kind of fit. And it kind of took some digging for team staff to go back in there and figure out, okay, how does this all work? And does he have eligibility left? Does he not? And eventually it kind of got ironed out. And in the meantime, Ole Miss is adding running backs and Arizona's looking at different players. And so kind of worked out in Arizona's favor that, Ole Miss kind of loaded up on some other running backs while it was kind of trying to figure out that situation and get it all squared away. And, it looks like a more appealing situation back at Arizona where you can be part of a group and really contribute. And so I think it kind of just is the way it all worked out. But I think when you throw that COVID year into everything and you have players that are moving around to different schools in general, it makes it a little bit more muddy. And I think it just took some time for everyone to kind of figure it out and figure out exactly what the eligibility situation was.
Matt Moreno from Rivals joining us, talking Arizona football. You mentioned Ole Miss, another running back that was there last year, Kedrick Riscano, is headed to the University of Arizona. Now, he did not play last year. What can you tell us about potentially what they're getting in this young man, and how quickly can? I mean, obviously what you're getting from Merritt. He's an established college player. Are both of these two guys you think going to be in the mix come the fall?
Absolutely. And when you look at, Kedrick Riscano, he was a 4-star guy. We had him, ranked inside the top 120 players in his recruiting class. And so you have a lot of talent. Obviously, it can be difficult at times especially when you're going to an SEC program, to come in right away and play as a freshman. And so he was able to get his feet wet a little bit, at that level. But, what you're looking at if you're Arizona is you have a player who was, a 4-star talent, considered, one of the top 10 players at the running back position, as a high school recruit. And you have all of his eligibility left. And so I think that's something that you're excited about if you're Arizona. It gives you something to build around. You're not getting someone who's completely green. He's been through, the practices, and he understands kind of what it takes to play at that level, to play at the college level, the Power 5 level. And you can kind of seamlessly move him in, but you don't need to necessarily fully rely on him. And so I think it's a great situation for him. Arizona's running back room looks a lot better now than it did, a few months ago. And, I think it's a perfect spot for him to kind of really continue to develop and then eventually get back out on the field and put in some work for Arizona. I do think he'll be a nice complement to, who else they have on the roster at that position. But a lot of talent, someone that, had pretty much every offer that you want coming out of high school not too long ago. And, a really nice pickup for Arizona this offseason for sure.
A couple of these guys, obviously, that are on this transfer class were in camp during the spring. One of them that really stood out to me in the spring game was Jack Luttrell from Tennessee. He looks like he can hit pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at kind of across the board, and a lot of the players that Arizona added in the secondary wasn't too many, but, going back to the winter portal and the spring portal windows, the players they added in the back end can hit, and that's one of the things that really stands out. And so it feels like it's pretty clear what they're going to want to accomplish. Obviously, you have some kind of old school DB coaches, around the team and around the program, and so Jack Luttrell is one of those guys that again gained a lot of buzz, took a lot of visits. As a high school prospect, didn't get a chance to necessarily do much at his previous stop, but I think he'll have a really good opportunity to do some things, at Arizona and step into a bigger role and make an impact. But yeah, I think if you look across the board in the secondary with this new staff with Brent Brennan, when you look at what they're doing and who they're adding, definitely big hitters, I think is kind of going to be the norm when you look at what Arizona wants to do, especially at those safety positions. Versatility as well, but I think being able to come up and make plays, help in the running game, but also, just, make those big hits like you mentioned. I think that's going to be something that you see a lot of with this Arizona coaching staff as they move forward and really try and target their players and settle in at Arizona as recruiters.
Matt Moreno joining us from Rivals, talking Arizona football, this transfer class that Brent Brennan has brought in here. Okay, so what is your overall evaluation? Obviously, the incoming freshman class rated kind of low by most. We figured that was going to be the case with the lateness of the whole transition of the coaching staff. But what's kind of your overall feeling of the incoming freshmen and the transfer class together and what they're going to add to the future of this program?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's really difficult to kind of judge the transfer class because there's so many moving parts. A lot of players are guys that are coming from lower levels, and you just don't know how the transition is going to be. Some guys are coming from, the Power 5, Power 4 level, but didn't get a ton of time to showcase their abilities. And so there's kind of a wide mix at Arizona. And so I think that, there's some guys that you're going to expect to really have a big role. We talked about a couple of them already. And then there's some other guys that are a little bit more question marks. And so I think there was maybe a couple chances taken on some guys, but if you kind of figure it out and you do it right and you kind of get them ready and have, lead them to have better success, it can be a really strong class for Arizona. I think obviously when you go back to the transition with the freshman class, a lot of those guys signed and had wanted to play for Jedd Fisch. And so, a lot of the top end guys that they had committed and signed, last winter are no longer with the program. And so that kind of, it takes a hit. And so it's not going to look the same as what it'll look like moving forward for Brent Brennan once he kind of gets settled in and gets to, build the class his own way. But as far as the transfer class, I think there's some really intriguing pieces, some players that I think maybe have kind of only scratched the surface or maybe underachieved a little bit and maybe haven't played up to their talent, but that talent is still there. And I think that's something to be excited about if you're an Arizona fan, is that, there are a handful of players like that where maybe they haven't really hit their stride as college players yet, but they have a ton of talent. And if it can kind of just be developed and reach the forefront of their game, they're going to be really impactful players. And I think you saw that last season with several players who, maybe didn't have successful careers at their previous stops or just didn't have as big of an impact at their previous stops and really shined for Arizona last year, especially defensively. And so I think there's going to be some similar scenarios with this season and with this group. And I think that's something to be really excited about if you're an Arizona fan.
All right, so a lot of defensive linemen in this transfer class. Are there one or two that really excite you?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at, a couple of the two former Pac-12 guys, where you look at Lance Kennelly from Stanford, he really was able to make an impact. Maybe one of those guys that I was kind of talking about, where he was in the mix, he got some experience, he was able to make an impact, but you can kind of envision him having an even bigger role at Arizona and getting an opportunity to do even more. And so he's really impressive. He's somebody that has California ties, so he knows some of the guys that are already on the team, and I think that'll be helpful as well. But I was really impressed by what he has shown at Stanford. And I think there's still some upside, some development that can be done that can really help Arizona. And then if you go to a place like USC, Stanley Tufo'u, obviously, one of those players that he's made an impact at USC. You get on that roster for a reason. There's talent there. And so I think he's going to be someone to really watch out for and do some different things. And, those are a couple guys that I think have a chance to really, really step in and contribute, kind of hit the ground running. And I think that's what you're looking for if you're Arizona, because, as we saw last season, it really starts with that defensive line, that defensive front. That's where the success is going to come from. Yes, you have some talent in the back end. You have some returners who did some really, good things last year for Arizona in the secondary. But up front is where kind of the money is made and where this team is going to find out if it's going to be successful or not and can replicate what it did last year. And I think Arizona did a good job of addressing some of its needs up front, especially on the interior of the defensive line, to get that ready and to make that team, to make the defense, well prepared for once the season arrives. But those are a couple guys that I think I'll keep an eye on.
Matt Moreno joining us from Rivals. Matt, early pick for Big 12 champion. Is it going to be a new team like Utah, or is it going to be a holdover, perhaps like Oklahoma State?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting. I think Arizona could definitely be part of that conversation. Obviously, returning a lot of talent offensively, and especially at some key positions. And I've talked to some other people about this as well. And if you look across the board at college athletics and college football in particular, but college football, if you can bring back key players at key positions, it really means a lot, because there is so much movement going on with all these rosters. And the quarterback position, to bring somebody back who has been there and done that, who has started games and bring them back for a second season. I understand, with the new system, they're going to be learning kind of some different things than what they did, under Jedd Fisch. But I think that's so key in any situation. And if you look at even some of the top teams, they're working in new quarterbacks. And so I think Arizona's going to be part of that conversation. I do think Utah's maybe being a little bit underrated. Obviously, we'll have their quarterback back as well. So I could see it being a new team. I think that, especially talk about Arizona, Utah, those are a couple teams that are, coming off successful years. Utah less so, but still has that talent, still has, that makeup of what they do and kind of their what to expect from Utah every year. And so I think it's going to end up being a new team. I'm not super, super high on the Big 12 this season. Obviously, things could change, and you can kind of see how it plays out. And there are some, I think some talented players in the league, a couple of talented teams, but I think it's going to be a new team. I think that, it'll be kind of mark the arrival of this new group that's coming in, and I think it is going to be a new team that ends up winning the Big 12.
All right, last question for you, Matt. Colorado, 40 kids in, 40 kids out. Is that too many annually?
It is I don't know how it's going to be sustained. I don't know how you sell that to recruits, and I guess maybe you don't. And it has really been interesting. It's a really interesting kind of experiment to see kind of how it's going on, and a test case to see how this all works, because no one's really doing what Colorado does, and whether that's bad or good, we kind of don't know at this point. It's been really remarkable to track and see, because no one is doing it, and it's more transactional than anything. I mean, players are kind of being shown the door and saying, hey, thanks for what you showed us, but we're moving on. We're getting somebody else that's better. Deion Sanders kind of outright said that at moments. And so you just don't see that. And it's hard, when you look at successful programs, they kind of have a certain culture about them. And I think everyone trusts one another within those programs. It's hard to kind of build that trust when hey, if I don't play well, I'm going to be on my way out, because they're going to be bringing somebody else in. And I think as a fan, you go, yeah, that's exciting, because you want to win, but man, it's tough to run a program like that. And so it feels like it's too many, but I don't think it's going to stop as long as he's there. It doesn't feel like it's going to stop anytime soon. It's going to be the way he operates and the way that program operates, and it's been really interesting to kind of see it all play out. But they have, to his credit, they have brought in replacements, and it's just up to see how well they can play and how well they can actually replace those guys that departed. But really interesting to see what they're doing, and really intriguing to kind of see how it develops and if they're able to really have success there going about it that way.
Deion Sanders alone keeps you guys busy over there at Rivals.
Absolutely.
Matt, hey, we appreciate you dropping by, and we look forward to talking to you again during the summer before the season gets going.
Absolutely, anytime.
Matt Moreno from Rivals, longtime cover of Arizona athletics as well with Go AZ Cats, and doing his thing now on the Western scene all over the Pac-12 out in Southern California for Rivals. 520-848-1290. We'll dive into anything that Matt had to say there as well. Some of the guys that he thinks are going to stand out in this recruiting class. Who are they? Lance Kennelly out of Stanford. 6'5", 240-pound interior defensive lineman. Will it be a Chase Kennedy on the edge? 6'3", 225 edge rusher out of Utah. He was in the Pac-12 last year. I left the USC kid to him because I knew I was not even going to try to pronounce that name. Matt did a great job with it. Stanley Tuaufo, 6'2", 280-pound lineman as well, coming out of that Trojan program, another Southern California out of Simi Valley. We'll dive into all that. DK on the sports tip. Kyler Murray as well in the 5 o'clock hour. Cricket getting you home right now on the 5s every 20 minutes with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together, sponsored by Park Place Mall. Park in Irvington. Earlier collision occurred at Irvington and Park Avenue. Roadwork Grant Road east of Country Club, both eastbound and westbound. Grant Road east of Country Club is down to 1 lane through Tuesday, and the nighttime roadwork will continue. We've got overnight low at 73. Heads up, there is an excessive heat warning until 8 tonight, 104 tomorrow, 100 on Sunday, and 108 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Macy's. Find the perfect Father's Day gift with Macy's Gift Finder. In just a couple clicks, you'll get personalized gift ideas for every dad at every budget. Visit Macy's.com/gift finder and give love today at Macy's.
Escape the ordinary and indulge in a world of excitement at Park Place Mall. Discover endless possibilities with over 100 stores, restaurants, and entertainment options. Join them for the monthly Kids Club, Yappy Hour, and seasonal events. From fashion to food, it's all at Park Place Mall, where you belong.
Cummings Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, where we always give you a free estimate before we get started.
ROC number 113429.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
You are paying too much for gas because you're paying for gas. Why pay for gas when you could pay for a new Blazer EV at O'Reilly Chevrolet and save $7,500 right off the top? That's just where the savings start. So use your electronic phone and go to O'Reilly.com and see them all in person on Broadway next to Park Place Mall, or call 747-8000. Trade up and trade in and put gas in your rearview mirror. See us today at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
You are so obsessed with betting. I don't need to bet.
You're adamant that you're going to win, and I'm adamant that they're not going to win.
But why does money have to be exchanged?
You're a realist.
Like, he believes it, you believe it.
Why is that? Well, that's no fun in that.
It's a conversation that you can have, and then Monday it's just like, I told you so. I mean, that's verbal currency.
There's nothing fun there.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-3128. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-3128. That's 800-575-3128.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Over the years, LearnerRow has helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. What does that mean to you when you're looking for an attorney to handle your personal injury case? That means that LearnerRow is a law firm that not only has experience, but the proven results to recover money for your injuries. The insurance companies know which attorneys won't put up a fight. When you call us, we call them, and they know they have to pay.
LearnerRow is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
If a baby is giggling in the back seat, they're probably happy. If a baby is crying in the back seat, they're probably hungry. But if a baby is sleeping in the back seat, will you remember they're even there? When you're distracted, stressed, or not usually the one who drives them, the chances of forgetting them in the back seat are much higher. It can happen to anyone. Parked cars get hot fast and can be deadly. So get in the habit of checking the back seat when you leave. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Arizona baseball not playing this weekend as the super regional round gets underway. I don't know if you got your television on the North Carolina,
I do.
West Virginia game on your side, J-Dub, but sitting up here watching this and thinking about what could be right now. We could be right in the middle of super regional baseball if things had just gone a certain way. But, oh, my goodness. West Virginia has just hit a second home run in the 6th inning to take the lead on North Carolina. They were down 4-2 at the start of this inning. Now they are up 5-4.
How's that squad? Do you know? Because I know that West Virginia coming into that last regional, like they were talked about that region of death and all that stuff, and the two smaller schools might be the two best smaller schools in the entire tournament. But when it came to the Mountaineers, I heard that their roster was depleted to the point where they only had like 75-80% of available players.
Wow.
I'm wondering if they're just, running on fumes right now, or if they've got a few of those guys back, because certainly they don't seem like they're lacking any bats right now.
No, not at all. Playing for their coach, who has announced his retirement after the end of this season, trying to, like they said last week, just trying to play more games for him. How about that? Maybe, is that a third? Oh, great catch. Great catch at the wall to rob another extra base hit for West Virginia. They are just swinging it right now down there in Chapel Hill. First game of this particular Super Regional. So today is the first day of Super Regional play in baseball. It'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday for the teams that started today, and then Saturday, Sunday, Monday, best of threes for the teams that get going tomorrow in the other 4 Super Regionals. So we will see how it all pans out and who can get to Omaha, Nebraska for the NCAA
Would you believe
College World Series Men's Championship.
This is the only second time these two teams have ever played each other?
Wow, that's a little bit surprising considering West Virginia, I believe, actually borders North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken,
Apparently,
in some areas.
They only played once back in 2014 in one midweek game. One midweek game is all these two programs have ever played.
So, 6-4 right now. West Virginia leading North Carolina in the middle of the 6th. Other games right now, two finals. Tennessee wins, the number 1 seed. They knock off Evansville 11-6. Florida State, they put a whooping on Connecticut. 24-4 in game 1. The Seminoles win by 20 runs. Both those teams are up 1-0. The other game in progress right now, Kansas State on the road leading Virginia 1-0. That's early, though. That game is in the 3rd inning. The other series will start tomorrow. North Carolina State, a 10 seed at 7 seed Georgia. Oregon on the road at number 3 seed Texas A&M. Oregon, one of the unseeded qualifiers, as they knocked out Santa Barbara. Virginia and Kansas State will play game 2 tomorrow. Florida, another unseeded team. They knocked out Oklahoma State. They will play at Clemson. And then your other Super Regional is number 15 seed Oregon State at number 2 Kentucky. So 2 Pac-12 teams still remaining with a chance to get to Omaha this year.
They don't quite border each other.
No.
Virginia is in between West Virginia and North Carolina. I had to look because I thought to myself, I'm pretty sure North Carolina and West Virginia share a border, but no. There's that long southern border of Kentucky and Virginia in the way.
Okay. I know I'd driven from North Carolina up through to Ohio, and I couldn't remember if I thought I passed through West Virginia.
You did, but you passed through Virginia first.
Virginia first, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. We were talking about the NBA Finals, the NHL Stanley Cup Finals get underway tomorrow night. Game 1 between the Edmonton Oilers and the Florida Panthers. The Panthers have home ice in this particular series, so game number 1 will be down in South Florida. Edmonton trying to become the first Canadian team since the 80s to win a championship. Chris Knobloch talked about this team carrying the weight of an entire nation on their shoulders.
I think with a team, it's all about accomplishing something for the guys in the room. They feel very close. They're tightly knit. And they've been through a lot of ups and downs, and they've been a lot of the, especially our veterans, our Connor and Leon, Ryan, Darnell have been through this for quite a long time. They want to win for each other. I think that's the biggest thing. And the other part of it is wanting to win for the city. Obviously, you saw the support after Game 6 against Dallas, and, that's exciting. And, they want to continue that, and because because they felt the support. They want to return that favor. And now, for the rest of Canada, yeah, they can jump on board too. All the support we can get is great. But I think the biggest thing is, wanting to win it for each other in that room.
Not bad for a guy who's in his first year as a head coach in the National Hockey League. Chris Knobloch, no relation to Chuck Knobloch, the longtime great infielder for the Minnesota
They're not
Twins
cousins or something?
It doesn't appear that.
That would be cool.
I've not found anything that tells me that the two are related, and I was looking for that because I don't know too many Knoblochs in the United States. He actually coached the last 3 years, or 4 years actually, right down here in the American Hockey League with the Hartford Ball Club. So always good to see AHL folks getting their opportunities up in the National League as well. So that game, we actually had our we'll go back and give you our question of the day 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? Yesterday. Actually, it might have been 2 days ago. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup Finals? Edmonton or Florida? 80%. J-Dub saying it's going to be Canada. Edmonton.
I hope so. It's funny, that whole thing. I think it was, 92 or 93 was the last one, something like that. That's pretty well documented that no Canadian club has won. But, DK, there have been 97 Hart Trophy winners in the history of the NHL. 97.
Now, the Hart Trophy is...
MVP,
okay.
80 of the 97 were Canadian-born players.
Wow.
80 of 97 MVPs in NHL's history. So when we say that no club from Canada has won, a lot of Canadian representation on all the American clubs that have won that Stanley Cup over these years, it's just such an odd thing because, the Canadians themselves were just so dominant for so long. We mentioned this the other day, but they have there was a documentary made last year about the riots in Vancouver, was it, last time that they were in Game 7, lost Game 7. And I don't know that you can really put it on one coach or one group of players to represent a country's 40 years of not winning a title, 30 years of not winning a title. And clearly the country of Canada is just... when's it going to end, DK? When is this streak of them not having a cup up there in Canada? Because that's the whole thing to me is as an outsider looking in, I'm not a huge hockey fan. I've definitely followed my whole life, but I don't, know all the ins and outs. What I do know is that they carry the cup around with them when they win.
Yeah.
Right. So what this means is that no Canadians have been drinking champagne or whatever out of that cup for such a long time because it's all been American teams that have won for such a long time.
Montreal, the Canadiens, the last to do it in 1993. There was a stretch of 7 years in a row in the 80s and 90s when Canadian teams won it. Most of those were won by the Edmonton Oilers. They won 88-4, 85, Montreal in 86, Edmonton 87, 88, Calgary in 89, Edmonton again in 90. Then Pittsburgh started their little run. 91, 92, and Montreal 93, and that's it.
It's funny because Quebec moved to Colorado, right? And then they won a bunch right after that.
Right after they won.
Before we go to break really quick, so 97 Hart Trophy winner MVPs, 80 of those Canadian. You want to take a quick guess as to what other countries have produced NHL MVPs?
I would say Russia.
6 for Russia. That's second.
Yeah.
80 for Canada. 6 for Russia. U.S. is in third.
Okay.
4 U.S.-born MVPs.
Ooh, let me see if I can name one of them.
3 for Czechia, 2 for Slovakia, 1 UK-born MVP, and 1 from Germany. That's it.
Let me see if I can name one. And I don't know if this... American-born. Bobby Hull? Is he American? Or is he Canadian?
I think he was Canadian.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he was Canadian.
All right.
Almost positive.
If you know the answer to that question, 520, give me one American-born MVP in the National Hockey League. One of the... You said 4, right?
That's what it says here according to this list.
One of the 4. Give me one of the four. I said Bobby Hull. J-Dub says he's Canadian.
Yeah, he definitely is Canadian, for sure.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. Much more coming up for you in the 5 o'clock hour. It's DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Pavement improvements occurring along Swan Road between Sunrise Drive to south of River Road, Thornydale south of Lambert Lane to north of Cortero Farms Road, and also on Orange Grove east and west of La Cañada. You might experience some lane closures, possible delays, flaggers on site to monitor travel through June 15th. There is an excessive heat warning until 8 tonight, 73 the low, 104 tomorrow, only 100 on Sunday, and 107 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
Sean Furrier for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. If you're driving right now, you may not be thinking about your tires, but chances are they've been tested before. Like that time you swerved to avoid the stray shopping cart that rolled into the street from nowhere? Or when you had a green light but did some extreme braking because another driver decided to turn left in front of you. And we've all had to navigate monsoon downpours that turned our streets into Arizona's largest slip and slide. At Jack Furrier's, we've helped Arizona drivers navigate these extreme moments for over 60 years with the right tires, the best deal, and a huge in-stock selection of the brands you trust. And now's the time to save big with the most rebates we've seen all year on the brands you love, like Michelin, Cooper, and Uniroyal tires, with up to $100 back all month long. And Jack Furrier cardholders get back another $30. Check out jackfurriers.com for details on all our sizzling summer savings. So for all those critical moments where your tires make the difference, check out Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care.
Yeah, Goodfellas AC.
Hi, can I get a second opinion from you guys on something?
Of course. It's what we're here for.
So, my wife's brother claimed he'd done some AC repair before.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and now there's kind of a rope and pulley situation that opens the freezer door and a fan inside turns on to cool off the house.
Huh, very creative.
Really?
No, not at all. Next time, call us first, yeah?
Yeah.
Call Goodfellas AC for free estimates and second opinions. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. GoodfellasAC.com.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird! It's a plane! No, it's...
I'm Captain Tobacco from Tobacco Barn.
My tobacco hero.
I'm here to wipe out high prices on tobacco products. I'm also here to inform citizens that you can save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products. Pay no city or state sales tax at Tobacco Barn and save up to another $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Uh-oh, I see high prices. Excuse me.
Save up to 40% off all your tobacco products at Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn is on the Indian Reservation, so you're not paying state tax or any city sales tax. Plus, you can get a coupon for an additional $3 off at TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Take it from Captain Tobacco. Save up to 40%. Save with no city or state sales tax. And save with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Well, time for me to fly.
Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway just south of Valencia. Check TobaccoBarnTucson.com.
Is switching your wireless service to Total by Verizon easy? Now you can get 50% off any unlimited data phone plan. That's one line for only $25 a month, and you keep the phone you love. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. So find a store or switch suavemente at TotalByVerizon.com. Offer ends July 31st, 2024. Promo subject to cancellation after 12 months. Available exclusively online and in Total by Verizon stores. Requires a compatible unlocked device and SIM. See TotalByVerizon.com for device compatibility and additional details. Taxes and fees may apply.
Seasons change. Why not your tech? Upgrade now during the Dell Technologies Summer Sale event and save on select PCs like the XPS 16 powered by Intel Core processors. You'll be able to bring your most intensive projects to life with built-in AI, minimalistic design, immersive visuals, and cinematic audio. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics plus free shipping on everything. Amazing prices await you for a limited time only at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusive.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white on black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
What do you mean, trenchless?
Means no trench.
But it's the sewer line.
And they did it without ruining my yard.
The yard we're standing in?
The very same.
I don't know if I trust that.
I trust that because I trust them.
Them?
Ram Plumbing.
Locally owned and operated Ram Plumbing, offering a comprehensive range of plumbing services from fixtures to installation to trenchless sewer replacement. Turn to Tucson's most trusted plumber. When your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double. Online at bestplumbertucson.com.
Did you know Economy Plumbing Service specializes in 2-day in-home repiping? So get rid of that old galvanized or polybutylene pipe and give us a call at 885-3510. Also, while we're at it, is your water heater acting up? Are your toilets backing up? Is the drip, drip, drip keeping you up? Then what are you waiting for? Give Economy Plumbing Service a call today, 885-3510, or visit us at economyplumbingservice.com. Because if water goes through it or to it, we do it.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what?
Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Final hour of this week here on the show. Your last chance to get in on what you want to talk about in sports, if it's any of the things we've touched already today. Oklahoma softball, the dynasty, 520-848-1290. Arizona football, the transfer class. Rivals, we talked a little bit about on 3 the other day, J-Dub, but Rivals has this class ranked 6th. And they haven't even added in yet the transfer running back, Kedrick Riscano from Ole Miss, from Mississippi. Ole Miss, they haven't even added him in on the Wildcats line yet. So they have a much higher view of this recruiting class than the folks over at On 3 do in terms of how it ranks in this new conference that the Wildcats are going to. So that's a positive thing right there. They've got the Wildcats, again, 6th behind Colorado, who's number 1 pretty much all over the place, Central Florida, Arizona State, Cincinnati, and then Arizona. That's how it ranks in terms of rivals of this recruiting class for the Arizona Wildcats. So we'll keep an eye on that. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Let's talk to David. David, you're on DK on the Sports Tip, Wildcats Radio 1290.
How's it going, DK?
What is up, David?
Well, you know what? I was thinking about that question that you brought up about American-born NHL MVPs.
Right.
And there were 2 names that popped into my head right away. And I'm pretty sure that they're both Americans. I just don't know if they were MVPs. One of them was Chris Chelios, and the other one was Patrick Kane.
Patrick Kane was the one I was going to guess, and Patrick Kane is one of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Patrick Kane was born in Buffalo.
Patrick Kane won the Hart Trophy in 2015. And when he did, he became the first American-born player to win it since 1924.
Wow.
Almost
okay,
90
then that would definitely eliminate Chris Chelios from that question then.
Yeah, Chris Chelios is I don't know where Chris Chelios is from. Let me look it up really quick.
1924, J-Dub, you said?
Correct. His name was Billy Birch. Billy Birch won the Hart Trophy in 1924, and then no American-born player won it again until Patrick Kane.
Wow, Billy Birch, born in Yonkers, New York. That's crazy.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that year that Patrick Kane won it was the year that they beat My Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah.
So
my Philadelphia Flyers.
Are you a Philly guy, or are you just a Flyers fan?
No, I grew up overseas, so a lot of my teams are pretty scattered. I don't think I have one team from one state in the four major sports. Well, I do. The Steelers and the Flyers from Pennsylvania. And then, unfortunately, I'm a Mets fan and a Suns fan. This has been a really rough few years for me. Mets, Suns, Steelers, and Flyers.
Yeah, that's
It just
tough.
does not pan out well for me.
You're all over the place there, David. We should have got
all over the place.
We should have gotten Austin Matthews. I mean, he's only from grew up here in Arizona, born in California. How do we miss that?
And that was last year.
That was last year, or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Chris Chelios, by the way, is American. He's born in Chicago, but he did not win the Hart Trophy.
Yeah, he hasn't
during
won
his
it.
playing
Yeah, and I know that he does rank in the top of greatest American players, always in the top 5 of greatest American players.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
He was a good one, for sure.
But never won that Hart Trophy.
Nope. David, I appreciate you, though, knowing Patrick Kane and getting that out there.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. You have a wonderful afternoon.
You have a great weekend,
Mets.
David. Thank you
Stay
so much.
Stay out of the heat.
Exactly. Exactly. 520-848-1290. I can't believe we slept on Austin Matthews, who was born in San Ramon, California, and obviously grew up in Scottsdale.
I was looking at a picture of all the Hart Trophy winners and their birthplaces, and he is the only one that's anywhere near. I think everywhere the winner was born within 50 miles of the Canadian border.
Yeah.
So he's the only one even close born. But that may be, I don't know, trend isn't the right word, but I wouldn't be surprised because of technology and just the advancement's ability for you to get rinks pretty much anywhere. And not only that, but you can be a huge hockey fan, as we've seen recently, living in Florida, living in Arizona, living in Texas, living in some of these hotter states. So it may just take a little bit of time before that catches up. But I wouldn't be surprised to see some great young hockey players coming out of some of the southern states here in the near future.
We in the last segment, I said my guess was Bobby Hull. And you informed me that he was born in Ontario. And I joked, it's like, oh, well, he's from America. He was born in suburban Detroit.
Yeah, they're all, yeah. I mean, most of those big cities in Canada are right on the border, so not too far from America, that's for sure.
I mean, literally, I'm looking up my map here. Point Anne is right on the water, and it is literally right across from, actually, is it across? Yeah, Prince Edward. Is that New York? It's a little bit. Actually, it's a little bit further. It's on the southern tip of Ontario, but there's a large body of water known as one of these Great Lakes between it and New York. So
that's a big body of water.
It's a Lake Ontario.
It's a big one.
Pretty big body.
Big one
of water. All right, let's check in on your Diamondbacks.
Diamondbacks download.
Baseball stuff!
All right, D-backs last night, game 1 of a weekend series against the San Diego Padres on the road, and they brought out the long ball sticks in the second inning.
What will be weekend baseball? There's a swing. That ball punished out to center field. Merrill back onto the track wall. Leaps, gone. Suarez goes dead center. His 5th of the year. And the Diamondbacks turn a 1-0 lead into 2. As a 1-2 pitch, there's the swing. That ball drilled deep to left field. That one is gone. Oh, back-to-back go the Diamondbacks here to start the second. And Moreno's 2nd of the year makes it 3-0.
Back-to-back belly-to-belly, Eugenio Suarez and Gabby Moreno, 2-0 Diamondbacks at that point. They would have in this game a lead of 3-zip. San Diego would tie it 3-3 in the 5th. Diamondbacks would take the lead in the 7th inning with a run, and then they would hand the ball in the 9th to Paul Sewald to try to shut the door.
Be very careful with these pitches. If you're going to miss, you got to miss off the plate.
2-2. Strike 3 called, and the ball game is over. And Mike Schilt comes running out of the dugout as that fastball looked like it was off the plate. Diamondbacks win it by a final score of 4-3, and they take the series opener.
Wow. Not much to say there except wow. This ball, fastball up and away. Seawald gets the call here. Probably a little bit off the plate, but Gabby Moreno keeps it right there, does a nice job of bringing it back, and San Diego not happy with that. I think Mike Schilt tossed after the game over.
Yeah, Mike Schilt was not happy with it. You should have heard the Padres broadcast team not happy about it. In fact, let's let you hear the Padres broadcast team's version of that.
Strike 3 call. And that ends the ball game, and that was not close to being a strike.
Brutal. Horrible. Took the bat right out of the kid's hands. Wasn't even close.
Like Schilt out there arguing that very point, but this game is over.
You got to be shaving me.
You've got to be shaving me? I don't know that I've ever heard that one before.
I mean, what's the manager's name again? One more time?
Mike Schilt.
So those guys have a lot of experience towing that line between what's appropriate to say on the air and not. Yeah.
You've got to be shaving me. Mark Grant, the analyst there for the Padres on their TV network, longtime pitcher in the big leagues. That's like I don't know if you watched Battlestar Galactica growing up.
The first one, yeah, the original, yeah,
the
sure.
original version, and Starbuck used to always say frack.
Right, yeah.
that's kind of their shaving.
Got to be creative.
Yeah, got to be creative for sure. All right, what is happening in Tucson, in southern Arizona this weekend? Cricket is back for one final check of all that is our beautiful part of the country and how we can have fun in it this weekend.
Yes, tonight. It's a little past our bedtime, but at 10:30 tonight.
Way past our bedtime.
It's way past our bedtime. It's a 80s night with Cosmic Bingo at Casino del Sol.
Ooh.
With like a DJ and kind of like a
Cosmic
photo booth.
Bingo.
And I just picture it like with a lot of funky, fun 80s lights and stuff,
Okay.
you know. Probably one of the most jumpin' bingo.
Is that in the bingo room, I guess?
Yes, it is.
All right.
And so, and I think check-in begins at like 9 tonight. But again, 10:30 tonight, Cosmic Bingo at Casino del Sol. Tomorrow night, Second Saturdays downtown. They've got local makers and music and food trucks along Congress Street.
I have not been down to Second Saturday. I can't remember the last time I was down there. It was before the pandemic.
Same here. It's been
I
a
might
really
have to
long
go
time.
check out Second Saturday.
Yeah, check it out. A couple of free fun events for the kids tomorrow night. Art After Dark at the Children's Museum Tucson. Free admission from 5:30 to 7:30. Children's Museum Tucson on 6th Avenue. And on Sunday, another free event, the Kids Fest at Loft Cinema. Free admission for a screening of Wonka at 10 a.m. on Sunday at the Loft.
And don't forget the pool party up at Hacienda del Sol is happening this weekend. So I believe that's between 2 and 6. If you don't know anything about that, head on over to our website and check out our Tucson in review, I believe from 2 weeks ago, Memorial Day weekend. May 26th, we talked all about the pool party happening up there.
I was going to say, I was noticing a trend there right up until the end when you said 10:30 a.m. All those other events are well after dark, after the sun's gone down, and you can get some relief.
It's funny because, like, last week you were talking about 80s night at the Surly Wench, and and my wife and I, we went to the races. So I was like, well, we could go to the races and see some NASCAR, and then we could go downtown and do 80s night. And she's like, that's too late.
It's too much.
That's too much.
That's a lot.
Too late.
That's a lot to do.
She's like, it doesn't even start. And I said, it starts at 9, but you don't want to get there right at 9. You don't want to be like the first ones there.
Yeah, you do.
We can go down about 10:30, and it'll be lathered up. The DJ will be lathered up, and there'll be people on the dance floor, and we can just kind of mingle in, and we're not like the first ones out there dancing. You know?
I think as you get older, it's just a proximity thing. It's like if you didn't live 45 minutes away from downtown,
right.
it might be different.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. Well, enjoy, folks, whatever you are doing out there this weekend. And Cricket, you have a great weekend as well.
Thank you. You too, boys.
Give them one ride home here to end the show.
All right. From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together. Tucson Boulevard near Speedway. South of Speedway on Tucson Boulevard is spill containment. Officials will be doing washdown and cleanup. Also a crash 22nd and Craycroft and 22nd Street. Excessive heat warning until 8 tonight, 73 the low, 104 tomorrow, 100 on Sunday, and 107 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by Macy's. Find the perfect Father's Day gift with Macy's Gift Finder. In just a couple clicks, you'll get personalized gift ideas for every dad at every budget. Visit Macy's.com/gift finder and give love today at Macy's.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
That's the sound of steak searing in its juices on your new pellet grill. You heard that right. The Weber Searwood Pellet Grill can smoke low and slow at 180 degrees all the way to a high heat sear at 600. With the Weber Searwood, you can cook on the direct flame over the full grade sear zone. You'll hear the gasp of amazement from friends and family when you serve the food. Cooking with the Weber Searwood Pellet Grill just sounds delicious and tastes even better.
Time for the hot weather polar bear promise. Alaskan AC arrives in 1 day or your repair is free.
Wait, say that again?
We arrive in 1 day or your repair is free?
Again, but longer on the A.
We arrive in 1 day
or your repair is free. Hear it? No.
Alaskan AC, service guarantee. We arrive in 1 day
or your repair is free. By George, he's got it. With the Alaskan AC service guarantee, we arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
Are we really doing this?
That's awesome, Gary. With Alaskan AC service guarantee,
we arrive in 1 day or your repair is free.
We should probably
sing with us, William.
I would really rather.
Come on.
I don't want to.
Chicken bok bok.
Guys, no.
It's catchy.
Do it.
Sing out, Louise.
Fine.
With Alaskan AC service guarantee, we'll arrive in 1 day or your repair is free. Whoa.
Whoa is right.
Can we get back to work now?
Schedule anytime at AlaskanAC.com.
Incredible.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200 a year. They also received a $4,000 assessment for a hurricane that was over 1,000 miles away. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. Call 800-761-0000. That's 800-761-0000. 800-761-0000.
You've heard the term fiduciary when describing financial services, but do you know what that really means? The fiduciary standard requires firms to put the interests of the client above the interests of the financial advisor. This is Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, we intentionally structured our business as a true fiduciary and are in the minority of firms in the industry who operate that way. As I always say, our clients come first, and we mean it. Visit meridianwealthllc.com or call us at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
As a homeowner, you've probably seen some pretty bad plumbing problems.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
We've seen them all.
All of them?
Ram's Plumbing kept entire buildings flowing. Businesses since 1983.
Wow, so whatever happens to my house...
We've seen it before, and we have the solution. Locally owned and operated, Ram Plumbing is Tucson's most trusted plumber. Our team of licensed professionals can fix anything your home can dish out. When your plumbing's in trouble, call Ram on the double. Online at bestplumbertucson.com.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams 4-Day Super Sale and get 40% off paints and stains from June 7th through the 10th. With prices starting at $29.39, it's the perfect time to transform your space with color. Whether you're looking to revamp your bedroom, living room, or home office, we have you covered with bold hues, soothing neutrals, and everything in between. Shop the sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly. Eliminate carbon and varnish deposits with Lucas Fuel Treatment at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Simply add it to your tank at your next fill-up. A clean fuel system can increase performance and fuel economy. Right now, get 2 bottles of Lucas Fuel Treatment for just $9 and get 2 times O Rewards points. In-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us. You can text us at that number. Diamondbacks will play Game 2 of their series tonight against the San Diego Padres. 6:40 first pitch tonight. Brandon Pfaadt will get the ball for the Snakes. 2-4, a .432 earned run average. Michael King for the Padres. He is 4-4 with a 3.82 Ernie. Arizona gains a game on the Padres with the win last night. San Diego has lost 5 games in a row. They were 32-29. Now they've fallen to 2 games under 500. The entire division is under 500, except for the Dodgers, who are 14 games over 500 and have an 8-game lead over the Padres, 8.5 over Arizona and San Francisco, and 16 games over the Colorado Rockies. Over-under is low tonight, 7.5. The line in favor of San Diego at 125 at first pitch for 6:40. All right, your Arizona Cardinals are in the midst of OTAs, organized team activities. And for the first time, we had a chance to hear from one Kyler Murray this week on his offseason, an offseason of fully being healthy after the knee injury 2 seasons ago, and one in which he's had a chance to train and prepare with this new coaching staff for what will be his first full season under their direction. Let's hear from Kyler Murray about his offseason.
Finally getting that offseason that you were hoping to get to. What's it been like for you?
It's been good. It's been good. Probably, I don't want to say, it's felt like one of the best off seasons I've had in a long time. Just being able to, 1, be healthy, and then 2, be in touch with the guys and actually, be a part of it. Obviously last year, being on the side, working with Buddy every day, having to watch, having to be in meetings, and not really being able to get a feel for anything. It just makes a difference. It makes a difference when I'm out there, and we're all getting better together. So, not only on the field but off the field, everything's been it's been a good offseason.
What's your mission for this year, Kyler?
Win the Super Bowl.
The expectations, this team can do some special things, you think?
That's my goal. That's my expectation. Yeah.
What makes you say that?
Every year is to win the Super Bowl. I don't play for any other reason.
What do you like about this team this particular year going into the season before we get there?
Got a year better. Obviously, last year may not have been where we want to be, and we're still striving to get there. A whole new regime came in last year, learning a new system. Everybody kind of having to figure out their role in the team and understand what we're trying to go, what our goal is, and everybody pushing towards that. But again, me being out there, everybody being in the system a whole nother year, you can tell the difference out there. Everybody's playing faster, more comfortable. the rookies that we had last year, a great group. And allowing them to play faster because they've been in it. Got a lot of reps, got a lot of meaningful reps last year. And then, the rookies that we just added are a good group so far too. So I'm excited. I don't put any limitation on what we can do.
What's it been like for you being kind of embedded in the offense on the field this offseason and kind of being able to?
Oh, it's been great. It's been great. Like I said, last year at this time I was watching guys do it, and then not really being able to be out there with the guys and them get a feel for me, vice versa. So this year being out there, and then with the 8 games I got to play last year, just trying to build momentum going into this offseason. And I feel like we've done that. Obviously, it's not over yet. We got a long way to go. It's a long season, so I'm excited about it. I think the guys are excited about it. There's definitely a juice around this team. A camaraderie about this team. Guys are. Since I got here, I was usually playing with, a lot of older guys. This is the first time I feel like, I'm kind of the older guy. I feel like it's and there's no knock on, playing with older guys, but, when you're playing with guys around your age, it's easier to, gel or do things like that. And I think all of that matters, I don't think people take into account how much it does matter, but I believe, we can kind of grow together, and it's been good so far.
Does that transition happen quickly, where you're suddenly you're an old guy?
It feels like it's happened quickly, yeah. You kind of look around and I don't even know how many guys are still here from me, Buddha. It's probably one or two more, but it ain't many guys. So it's definitely a bunch of new dudes.
What's the chemistry? Go ahead.
We were told as soon as the pick was in, you were very happy when you were texting Monty and JG with Marvin. What have been, just early, what you've seen from him early on and what that connection has been and can be?
I mean, it's just, I think everybody saw it coming out. And I know there's like evaluation fatigue and everything when it comes to the draft process, and everybody's watching everybody, and they want to nitpick, what he can't do, what he can do. I think, he's been good at football his whole life. He's been obviously groomed by one of the best. His pop's obviously a Hall of Famer. There's not much to think about, dude. Like he plays the game at a high level. Obviously, it's a new level for him, but I have no doubt that he'll go do his thing this year and win, whatever he wants to. I think he's going to be that type of guy. I know how much he loves the game. Obviously, just sitting there talking to him, his energy. And just what he's going to mean to the team, I think everybody should be excited about him.
When you came in, you were working pretty quickly as soon as the season ended. Some of that is just natural for you. Was there any extra or long-term work you were still doing on the knee as preventative or extended rehab that you still had to keep doing?
I mean, they say year 2 is the biggest year. Yeah, I mean, to this day, obviously, it's not as extensive as it was, but that's something I got to stay on. Every body part, obviously, but for sure, I'm very cautious and obviously want to got to be ready before practice, before games and stuff like that. Have a routine and stuff like that. So to say after the end of the season, no, I mean I was definitely sore. There's some games I was sore. There's some games that. My flexion maybe not has been as loose as it was the week before. So it was definitely a battle, and that's something I've experienced now. So, I can speak on it. I didn't know what it was going to be like going into it, but yeah, there's a lot of good days, a lot of tough days. So,
how valuable has been the time off campus with the guys? We've seen you traveling all around with them.
I think it's really valuable. To get to know your teammates, to get to. Just be around them, because obviously it's not college anymore. And I think, it's kind of lost in this league. You in college, you're around those dudes every day, and you're hanging out, obviously. You get to the league, you got guys that have families and stuff like that, but I feel like that's controllable. I just think it's something that if you put the effort into it, you can still kind of have that feel. And I think this team is very, I know we were tight last year. I feel like this team is even more. And I know, it's been a lot of new guys, but the new guys have, made an effort to, really embrace the culture, embrace this team.
Gannon told us that he's had to kind of rein back in Marvin from doing too much work. Do you see anything that is over? I mean, or is that just Marvin being Marvin?
No, I mean, I haven't. it was my first time being around him, so I don't really know what's too much and what's not too much. I think that's on JG. Obviously, if he doesn't want him to, we play in September. We don't play now, so I understand it from that point.
What was better, James Conner's three-point shot or Paris Johnson's batting stance?
You should have seen James. He's actually probably better at baseball than he is basketball, but I think probably James. James shot, yeah. Paris was horrendous. That was terrible.
We said he hit a few.
No, he
just
did,
wasn't
no,
on video.
he did not hit it. No.
With all the things you've been through the last couple of years and some of the losses, like mentally, can you say you're happier now than you have been, or do you not look at it that way?
When you say like what
in terms of, look, you went through the contract, you went through the injury, the team wasn't winning as much.
Mm-hmm.
You seem to attack your days pretty much the same all the time, but it would seem like with the vibe of this team and where you are personally, it would seem like you are probably could be in a better place.
Yeah. Obviously, it's like the natural maturation of life. Like it's just being a rookie, just trying to get better each and every game. To year 2, to feeling really comfortable and exploding on the scene. Year 3, okay, let's ride. And then 4, obviously that was a down year, which to be the number 1 overall draft pick, obviously, the circumstances that you go into, I think we got better every year until, year 4 was kind of, a painful one. Obviously you get hurt, and then year 5, new regime, and sitting there learning and everything, just trying to be there, support the guys. So I think, going into year 6, I would say, am I excited? Hell yeah, I'm excited. I feel good. I feel, just to be healthy again is a blessing. And then, to have the support of, obviously your head coach and everybody around you, yes, for sure. And I believe in what we can do,
I know it's still a relatively new relationship with Jonathan, but how would you say that relationship has grown, and how would you characterize it?
Yeah, I kind of, I describe to people like, I know he made the best friend joke, but like when you meet when you meet somebody and you don't even remember how you met them or what do we click, how do we click, whatever. But like, the first time I met him, it was, on his interview or whatever, I was working out, and obviously he's fresh off a Super Bowl loss, so I chopped it up with him just for like 3 minutes, and I could tell by the vibe, like he really loves the game of football, and he understands what obviously how the game is, and just you can just tell when somebody, their intentions, how much it means to them, and then after that, man, like the rest was history, so it's been great.
He was talking the other day on the radio about he has a 24-hour rule when he texts people that he expects them to get back to him. Were you aware of that rule, or have you?
No, he got on me one time because I forgot to text him back, but no, I was not aware of that rule. No.
Is it common for him to text you guys? Are you texting back and forth often?
Yeah. Anything he sees, I see. It don't even got to be about football, and that's where he goes to the next level, and you got a guy you would, legit run through a wall for. I think, he's just got that, he's got that aura about him when it comes to, he actually cares about the players, and he holds everybody accountable. So it's not, it's not fake. He doesn't treat me, any different than he'll treat a rookie or anything like that. So, you just got to earn his trust.
You guys are 9 practices into OTAs. You got another week next week to get all the mandatory. Are you sensing a different level of enthusiasm or excitement from the guys this year versus past?
As far as the team, just
the team, the interest in what's going on and the energy out there.
Yeah, I think obviously we have certain days where they're more up tempo than others, but I think this team does a good job of being where our feet are. I think not necessarily looking too far ahead, just taking it one day at a time, getting better each and every day. And this is probably one of the, like I said, one of the more tight-knit groups that I've been around. So I feel that there's definitely a certain juice about us. But like I said, we don't play till September. So.
All right, that is the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray, speaking today. Not today, but this week at the complex in Tempe, OTAs for the Arizona Cardinals. You heard his goal. His goal Super Bowl. Win a Super Bowl. Got to win a playoff game first, though, before you can win a Super Bowl. And it's an important year. It's an important year. He's healthy this year. First year into this new regime. I think we're going to know real quick about what Kyler Murray's future is going to be in a Cardinals uniform, if he is indeed going to be that guy that they think can lead them to great things. I'm me. You know maybe you don't know my opinion on this. I'm not sold on Kyler Murray. Not really my type of quarterback. I'm not any more convinced now that he's the guy than I was 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. I just don't know if he's the guy to lead this franchise to great things.
And briefly, that's due to height, right?
Height mainly.
Yeah, so athletic, shorter QBs is not the guy you're looking for.
Not the guy I'm looking for. No, not in the least. 520-848-1290. Do you believe anymore now in Kyler Murray that he's the right quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals? We can dive into that before we get out of here today. Let's dive into some traffic one more time. Cricket, get us home.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With an earlier collision, 22nd and Craycroft and 22nd Street. Tucson Boulevard near Speedway on Tucson Boulevard South. The Speedway that was reported as a spill containment. You might see officials doing washdown and cleanup. Excessive heat warning until 8 tonight, 73 the low, 104 tomorrow, and 100 on Sunday, and 106 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
We all know just because gifts for loved ones can look like flowers, a spa day, or maybe even planning date night. But what about something that will truly last and protect your loved ones along the way? I'm talking about life insurance. I called SelectQuote to secure our coverage and couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40, and my $500,000 policy was only $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. And with their same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. With monthly payments less than the cost of a bouquet of flowers, this is the perfect time to make sure your family is protected.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-596-2626 or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-596-2626. 1-800-596-2626. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Hi, this is Joe Parsons, President and CEO of Parsons Steel and proud member of the Advisory Business Council of Meridian Wealth Management. As a longtime Tucsonan, professional rodeo cowboy, and businessman, I live my life on several core values and principles. Keep your promises, finish what you start. There's a line between right and wrong and nothing in between. Natalie Fernandez and her team at Meridian share those core values, and I'm very proud to know them. To learn more about Meridian, call 719-1433.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
DK on the Sports Tip, 3 to 6 weekdays.
Does Umar Ballo's decision to play for the Indiana Hoosiers change your feeling about his legacy as an Arizona Wildcats player?
Umar Ballo was about as Wildcat as it gets. Look at the smile on his face when he talks about what the McHale crowd means to him. That's real. How do you be a fan, David? That's the conversation we're having. You want to open that Pandora's box. And what does it mean to be a fan, and how do you fan? Well, that's really up to you.
Wildcats Radio 1290.
Ever get the urge to get out and see this beautiful state up close and personal? Then get on down to RV City in Huachuca City and camper up with a newer used RV fifth wheel travel trailer or pop-up. And we guarantee the short drive will be well worth it because we'll beat any deal anywhere. And we guarantee it. Bring us your best deal and watch us knock it out of the park. Our small city low overhead pricing is why we can meet or beat any deal you'll find in Tucson. Low overhead pricing, big city selection. That's always the ball game at RV City in Huachuca City.
Westwood One presents Today in Women's Sports, sponsored by Kohl's. This season, find everyday style at great prices at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. The greatest dynasty in the history of college softball adds another chapter to its storied legacy.
The 1-2 coming to Stewart. Swinging a ground ball into third. Brito backhands, throws to first. In time! It's over! The four-peat is complete! Oklahoma beats Texas 8-4. They sweep the series, and the Oklahoma Sooners are the first team ever to win 4 straight softball national championships.
Ryan Radke with the call on Westwood One as Oklahoma captures its 8th NCAA title in program history, all of them under head coach Patty Gasso. The college softball legend just finished her 30th season in Norman, and very soon a statue will be erected in her honor on the OU campus. With Today in Women's Sports, I'm Amy Lawrence on Westwood One.
So I just went to Kohl's to shop their first ever customer appreciation event. And now I'm here to spill the details. Because I'm a Kohl's card holder, I got an extra 30% off. Or if you're a rewards member, you get 20% off. Even non-members can save with 15% off. And as an added bonus, Kohl's also has great prices on Father's Day gifts, like top activewear, Sephora cologne, grilling gear, and more. So what are you waiting for? Don't miss out. Hurry to Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Coupons and Kohl's Cash do not apply to Sephora. Offers end June 16th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or going to the grocery store for milk instead of buying your own cow. You know there's an easier and better way. Save up to 25% when you bundle home and auto with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Final chance to get on the show for this week, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290. You can call us or you can text us at that number. Lots of good stuff happening next week. We will officially be at least the athletic side of things will be done for the University of Arizona after this weekend, after tonight. After tonight, definitely, because it's all finals out there in Eugene. So the athletic year will officially be over for the University of Arizona when we talk to you on Monday. And as I mentioned, we will get a new Directors Cup update next week. I believe that is on Wednesday, actually Tuesday of next week. So we'll dive into that and what that means for the Wildcats. Are they going to be a top 40 program nationally this year? I think their all-time low was a 51 a few years ago. I don't know that they're going to be that low this year, but it still remains to be seen if Fred Harvey and company can squeeze out maybe a fifth or sixth place finish in that 4x100 tonight. That'll get you about 6-7 points, and at least on the track side, which will get you, that'll be worth maybe 20 to 30 points on the Directors Cup side if they can finish higher than maybe sixth this evening. But that's going to be a tall order with the teams that they are facing. In fact, let's hear one more time from Fred Harvey, who we chatted with earlier.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, the Wildcats 4x100 will compete tonight. We'll also have a young man, Sir Jonathan Sims, who will compete in the triple jump. Fred Harvey talking about his 4x100 team earlier on the show. Big day for you guys, 4x1. First, let's talk about what they did on Wednesday, setting another program record at 38.75 for that foursome of Travion White-Austin, Brian Lamage, James Onadabosi, and Tyson Tippett.
Yep. Yeah, I mean they were on fire. I mean the 4x1s over the last few years has just been something really spectacular. You have teams that ran under 39 seconds 4, and then you had 3 last year that didn't have an opportunity to make the final. So at this meet, literally the best meet in the world when it comes to the relays as well. And any of those teams, these qualifying teams, to the finals are all teams that would, if they were a country, they would have an opportunity to make the Olympic game finals. And so really proud of the way the guys performed, and and how Coach Green got them prepared to be able to be ready to go. I mean, and they've done a fabulous job of that. It's absolutely amazing to see.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Shout out Francesca Green, the sprint coach at the University of Arizona. She works with all of the fast kids, as we like to say, and does a tremendous job with them. She has really done a phenomenal job of building that 4x1. They broke the school record last year. Obviously, they broke it again this year, and they have an opportunity to do something really special if they could score high here tonight in Eugene, coming up in about 16 minutes. 16 minutes that will get underway. So looking forward to seeing that 4x100 team. 39:07 was the all-time mark that they set last year and then took that down underneath 39 this year. They set that mark last year at the NCAA championships. So pretty impressive for sure for Arizona athletics to have that 4x100 team doing some pretty great things again with an opportunity to race for a national championship. But wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something if they could just find a way? And again, there's some tough programs. I mean, you're talking about Florida. Florida right now, they're probably the kings of track. LSU is in that mix. There's some tough programs that they're going to be up against tonight at 6:02. But that would be real special if they could find a way to bring home a national championship, be the best of those 9 teams that are going to race out there coming up in about 15 minutes. That would be a great way, J-Dub, to end the week with a national championship.
Anytime, DK, you can win a national championship, but specifically, in this final year of this conference and this being the final event that they're competing in with that Pac-12 logo, without a doubt.
One more natty to crown off the Pac-12 era. I finally signed up for the Big 12 stuff.
What'd you pick?
I picked everything but equestrian. I think equestrian was one of the ones I did not pick.
Yeah.
And there was one other one that we don't really do. There were 2 other. I think there were 3 things I didn't pick. Equestrian,
Whitewater Rapids or something.
There was several things that they do that we don't do that I was like, why am I going to go down that rabbit hole? No, I don't. So I got my first email. It was about men's golf. So look forward to the cavalcade of emails that we will get from the Big 12 conference now that we are a participant and a member over there. Going to be fun.
A lot of,
or maybe not.
Just like Brian Jeffries has a lot of reading to do this summer. I think we similarly.
We'll get the basic knowledge down.
Well, yeah, we don't have to have phonetical pronunciation of every last name for every athlete in the conference, but you kind of have to know where Morgantown is on a map.
Morgantown. See, we already
you have to know how to say Morgantown properly.
Yes, you do. It's in the middle of the mountains, right? And speaking of Morgantown, North Carolina just tied the game in the bottom of the 9th. I missed it. I was not looking at the TV, so that must have been a home run that they hit. 1 out. They were down 6-5 to start the 9th. Now that game is tied there. Wanted to just give you a few more of these numbers before we get out of here in terms of that 4x100 team. Last year, I think I said last year. Well, last year they actually set the record twice last year. They set the record. The main record, I said 39:07. That was actually their best mark this year. 38:82 was the all-time record that was set last year. 3 of the same 4 guys that are going to run tonight: Travion White, Austin, Brian Lamage, James Onunabosi, and then last year it was Carl Hicks. Carl Hicks graduated. Tyson Tippett now stands in. So they took it down to 38.75. And those are the best two. You'll remember it had been since 1990 since that mark had been set. That great 4x100 team of Mark Olivier, Percy Knox, Michael Bates, the Olympian, and James Bullock. I mean, that was a special group right there. They set the mark twice at 38.89, including at the NCAA championships, and they won the Pac-12 championships that year. And so that was the standard. And then this latest group has four now. Actually, now if you think about it, now they're going to have 5 of the top 6 times. 6 of the top 8 times all time in this event. This group of Travion White Austin, Brian Lamage, Carl Hicks, and James Onunabosi from last year, and then Tyson Tippett this year. So this group has set the standard moving forward in the 4x100 at the University of Arizona. And they will run at 6:02. ESPN Plus, I believe, is where you can see that. I don't have ESPN Plus, so I'll have to follow online and find out what happens. J-Dub, any final thoughts before we end the week here and head off into the weekend?
I mean, watching the College World Series right now live and following the Women's College World Series the last few days, obviously sad to see that the Arizona Wildcats weren't able to maintain. And that being said, it's been some great baseball. These last 2 games of the Women's College World Series weren't exactly as close as people maybe want them to be, but as much as I like to see parity, the amount of sheer domination by the Sooners these last 4 seasons, 5 consecutive finals, 4 consecutive wins. You got to tip your cap. Just amazing things. And yeah, I mean, I'm not really ready to say goodbye to the conference, so I'm not really ready to think about this being final weekends of things going on. We'll have a lot of time to talk about the summer before we even start getting into that Big 12 stuff. But yeah, I'm just really, really proud of all the athletes here at the University of Arizona and everything they did this year, and really looking forward to seeing what they have to do next year after getting a little bit of rest and relaxation this summer.
You're not ready to sing a little Frank Sinatra tonight? The end is near.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We did it our way.
Maybe last call.
There you go. Thanks to everyone that was a part of this show today. We had Ryan Radke, Arizona broadcast class of 1998, the voice of the Women's College World Series on Westwood One. You will hear him again this fall, coming up on Sunday Night Football, courtesy of Westwood One every Sunday night. Matt Moreno from Rivals had some great thoughts on this Arizona incoming recruiting class, transfer class as well. It's time to turn the page. We'll start turning the page to football next week, getting you excited about what's to come for the Arizona Wildcats as they enter into the Big 12 Conference. His name is J.W. Madden. Her name is Cricket. My name is David Kelly. That is our time for tonight and for this week. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy your weekend. Hydrate. Stay cool. Have a pool day. Have a number of pool days. And we will talk to you next week right here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Grant Road west of Craycroft, a collision reported on Grant west of Craycroft that most likely is off on private property, off on TMC property. Earlier crash 22nd and Craycroft. Restrictions will remain in place through the weekend on southbound Country Club approaching and passing Glen down to 1 lane. No left turns permitted from Country Club onto Glen. We've got an excessive heat warning until 8 tonight, 73 the low, 104 tomorrow, and 100 on Sunday, and 106 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. The ugly truth is when you buy a timeshare, you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. I recently helped a couple that had their maintenance fees go from $800 to $3,200.